Alice, you mentioned in the book one of the things about pensions, because obviously that's where a lot of people's invested wealth probably is in the mainstream, in their company pensions or their private pensions, and they actually have quite a bit of power whereby they could choose to invest that ethically, can't they?
Yeah, I think, for a lot of people, a lot of people may not have any money to invest aside from their pension. A lot of people, their pension will be something that they have through their company. They'll have signed up to their company's workplace pension plan. And, these days for most of us, that's going to be a pension plan where you get to choose possibly out of a small range of funds. There should be an ESG option, an ethical fund option within those funds, but it's probably not going to be the default fund. So the default fund is the fund that you get put into by the company if you don't make a selection. And apparently 90% of people, over 90% of people that are put into the default fund never change out the default fund, even though you can. So that's one thing that you can do immediately. Is your company pension fund like a bog standard fund? Is it the default fund? Or could you switch it to a more ethical option? But you may find that you don't like the other options on offer, in which case you can talk to your company about it. And if enough of the employees at the company tell the company, well, we want you to, give us some better options, give us some better ethical options, then the company, will hopefully take that into account, because there are a lot of other pension providers that the company could go to. So, hopefully we can sort of see this pressure from the ground up when it comes to company pensions as well. And happily, on the other side of things, the actual pension providers themselves are also looking much more closely at this and looking at actually making the default fund an ESG fund, and that's something that we're probably going to see more of in the years to come.
One thing I want to add to that, on Alice's point, everybody, if you want to do ethical investing and you want to have choice, you have to be a pain. And there is an element where I think if everybody watched this show, decided, look, I'm going to go and look at what my pension fund is in, if you can't find a statement, go and ask HR to go and give you one, because they're basically going to have to do it, or find out who the company your pension's with, and then find out from that company where your pension's invested. Like Alice said, it could be in a default fund, but it is interesting. There'll be companies that won't have chosen the pension scheme that they've got, that their employees have, based on any real ethical criteria, despite them having some sort of ethical criteria for their company and the way the company's run. So it actually could be an open door that you could be pushing on if you say, well, why is our company pension, not invested in line with the company's ethos? Because a lot of these pensions would have been set up years ago by very well-paid financial advisors, and therefore they not necessarily be changing things. Go and talk to people is the point, because you can make choices and you could start to invest ethically.